Well, on my homestead and my show, I show you my triumphs and my failures. This show is all about a failure. I'm not embarrassed enough to share it with you because I want you guys to succeed in what you do. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about my propane project. Hello folks, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host Jerry Hansen. I bought this propane tank. It's a 500-gallon tank. And then I purchased all the lines, the 2 stages of regulators, the first stage, the second stage, and I also purchased earthquake emergency shutoff valve. And I installed that down at the tank because I figured if there's an earthquake, I want the gas to be turned off at the source, so no gas is charging the line anywhere, because there could be a break in the line somewhere and we still have leak. So I'd rather turn it off at the source, and that way it'll solve that problem. So I've got my whole system set up, my ditch is dug. There's a part where we couldn't dig any deeper because the code depth in our area, according to our how-to booklet I download from the state of Oregon for the building codes, is the propane line in our area has to be buried at 19 inches, and then you have to have this metallic tape over the top of it, so many inches over the top of it. That way, if somebody comes through and needs to trace lines, that metallic tape will be picked up by the line tracer, which is basically a metal detector. Anyway, there's one area that's too shallow, so I've got 2 piles of dirt here to be able to backfill it to the code depth to satisfy the county inspector. The only thing I have left to do now is install this gauge I ordered online, and my plumber is pulling the permits next week, and then I'll call the county inspector and he'll come over and do our inspecting, and then hopefully he'll pass us and I can get this buried and call the propane dealer and have them fill the tank up. And so let's get this started. Okay, now we hook up the compressor, take that off. All right, turn the compressor on, then watch the needle. Note that if you go any higher than 15 pounds per square inch, the overfill, or this first stage regulator, it regulates the pressure going into the line so it doesn't allow too much pressure to go in, so it vents the extra pressure out. But we've got the line charged. We've got about 17 pounds per square inch, so I'm going to sit here and watch it for 15 minutes and see if it maintains that level. If it maintains that level, then we're good to go. I just leave all this intact and then wait for the inspector to come. We'll make sure it's charged, and then the inspector will come in and do his thing, and hopefully he'll pass me. I'll let you guys know in a future video. But it's holding air. I guess my line is all tight. It's good. I got a good plumber. What can I say? Well, it's been 10 minutes and it's still holding pressure. So we'll stay another 5 minutes. It only needs to hold, I believe, for 15 minutes. That's what I think it is. That only needs to hold pressure at 15 psi's for 15 minutes. Well, now it's been 15 minutes. It's held pressure at 16 pounds psi for the full 15 minutes. So we're good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and detach this and let this set out. And put this away until the day that the inspector comes. It'll pull it out and make sure the line's charged. So the inspector was here. He came and left a piece of paper, and he flunked me. I failed the inspection. I just have to fix two things and call him for reinspection. The one thing he failed me on is the ditch. It needs to be a minimum of 18 inches deep. I could not get the ditcher to dig any deeper than I got it. So what I'm going to have to do is get the tractor, come out here, grab some soil, and then pile it up along the edge of the ditch, and then have him come out and re-inspect. That way he could see I could backfill it to 18-inch depth. And another thing he failed me on is he does not like this metallic warning tape, which is a tracer tape. He doesn't like that. He wants an minimum requirement 18 gauge yellow tracer wire. Nobody had 18 gauge, so I went to the next size bigger, which is 14 gauge, and ironically it was cheaper too. So I got 100 feet of 14 gauge tracer wire, which will exceed his minimum requirements. And then I'll go ahead and bring in a bunch of soil in here with the tractor and get that packed in before I fill in the ditch, and then call him. It should be a couple days before I can get it inspected again. And give me time to get it fixed. Hopefully I'll pass the next time. But you know, I show you guys my triumphs and my failures. I'm not afraid to do that. So this is an example of a failure. So this will conclude part one of the installation of propane here on the homestead. The next episode, in the next part, I'm going to include the backfilling of the ditches and getting that all set in, and let you guys know the results of the new inspection. And then having the tank filled, the tank fill service. I intend on purchasing a second tank, and I'll have two 500-gallon tanks on site. And we'll make that part two, so look forward to that. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm with a little bit of a failure. Please stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Also, please click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms really helps us a lot. Please like the channel. Please, that really helps out the channel a lot. And also, leave a comment or question. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I have been so very busy behind the scenes lately. Hey, we'll see you guys in more adventures. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.